And we are back. In this segment, we're going to be taking questions from our community. So we have a list of people who know that you're our guest for today, and they've sent in some questions. So keep in mind that our audience is really varied, from beginners to like experts. So the questions are going to go up and down. Just get ready. Okay. So is crypto fights profitable now? You started just last year, right?
Yeah, we started development last year, and right now we're in closed beta, so we're pre-revenue. We also have been running a pre-sale for exclusive items to get before we go live. So I can't answer that question yet, but I do think there's a lot of excitement in the community, and they just can't wait to play. And we are seeing people are buying items for it. So I would say it's a pretty good bet that we'll be profitable in the future.
Okay, who are the most vocal advocates for gaming in the blockchain space that newbies can follow to get more information?
Yeah, one of the really good partners that we had was is moving with Engine Coin. That community has been really amazing. Engine Coin team is very supportive. They are putting out so many new tools. For example, the NGINX Block Explorer they just put out. That community, there's a bunch of different communities in that ecosystem that are very supportive of blockchain gaming specifically. So there's a lot of I think there's like 9 or 10 games now under the Engine Coin umbrella that are early adopters of the technology that they provide. The other communities would be there's a lot of stuff on Telegram, and there's just various games right now that have communities, and there's very small Telegram communities like Crypto and Gamers and Blockchain Biz, and I think eGamer that have new websites now that are catering just to crypto gaming specifically. And I would check out those communities to start learning more about the whole industry.
Okay. Are there vocal opponents, like people who are not in support of what you guys are doing for some reason, and why?
Yeah, it's not necessarily with crypto funds, but it's just with blockchain gaming. Is there's people that says why would we use blockchain with gaming? And I think it's more of that. I kind of compare that to why Bitcoin, in 2010 or 2011. I think it's because it hasn't been seen yet what's possible, especially with item ownership. Just the idea of owning your items in, for example, Hearthstone, which is a trading card game, competitive trading card game that you need to own a specific card, to play and being able to trade it. And if you think like Magic the Gathering, which has been going on for decades, that you would invest all this money into, these cards, to play the game that you don't really own them. You don't really have a claim on ownership with any of these games. And now with blockchain assets, you can provide that to people. And that's just one facet of what is coming with blockchain gaming. There's also preventing cheating, for example, not necessarily with first-person shooters, which I do think might be possible in the future, but just with turn-based games, is that everything is written to the blockchain or can be written to the blockchain. Everything could be analyzed. Any kind of competitive sport could be put on an immutable ledger that could provide new insight, new analysis. And there's just so many applications, but it has to be built for people to really get it and to experience what it can provide in the future. So I think that's why there's some haters out there that say, why blockchain? And because we're not there yet. Everything's being built right now. So I think this year, I know we're going to be hitting open beta this year for in the next several months. And there's some other games that are going to be coming out where people can see, actually play and experience what it feels like with these new features added on.
Okay, sounds great. What would you say is an average budget for developing or implementing blockchain technologies into gaming?
Well, right now, it really depends on the technology and how you use it in the game. For example, Engine Coin provides a lot of tools for developers to go and tokenize their assets. And that would be probably the most affordable, quickest way to do that. So I definitely check them out. Tell them I sent you because they're a great community and they will really help you out with I mean, they already have like, for example, we use Unity for the game engine, and they already have a Unity SDK that you can use in your games. If you do something else, I'm not familiar with other game platforms and how difficult that'll be, but it really depends on what's being built, and there's not a whole lot out there for developers at this moment. So a lot of it might have to be custom built, and that could be pretty expensive depending on what you're trying to do. So definitely get a good plan and a good team that can help you navigate the ups and downs of this industry, because like I said earlier, it is changing very frequently. And what, today it could be Ethereum, tomorrow it could be Bitcoin. Just the development platforms on certain chains are changing. And like, for example, Tron is throwing out a lot of money for game developers to develop on their blockchain. So they're starting to actually try to court game developers on certain chains just to be able to have the biggest ecosystem of games. So there's some competition starting now. So it's interesting. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, what's the biggest ecosystem currently? What currency has the biggest ecosystem currently?
Definitely Ethereum right now. Ethereum, I think, has the biggest, the most dApps, the most development tools, and the most third-party tools that kind of support the ecosystem that I know of. But that could rapidly change because of certain limitations in Ethereum, and like I mentioned, Tron or Bitcoin that could be starting to form. So again, it's a wild ride that you develop for the Ethereum chain, and right when you're releasing, the Bitcoin might release something pretty amazing that kind of beats the features and benefits of the Ethereum chain. So, and it might, make the next game coming out, even more appetizing to gamers. So it's really a wild west right now in a lot of this.
Yeah. Okay. This one is not really specific to gaming, but in general. What are 3 coins to invest in? Like, what are your top 3 coins to invest in right now?
That's hard to say because I'm not really a big trader anymore with this because of how this goes. But I definitely would take a look at Bitcoin SV. I think Ethereum is another good one. And let's see, one more, probably ENJ. I mean, I have to say that's Engine Coin. Engine Coin is, I think, one of the leaders in the gaming platform space. So, and we're on board with that. So I'd have to say those are my top 3 right now.
Okay. I'm curious, have you had any epic fails or massive wins with cryptocurrency?
Probably more fails. I actually, I remember buying a lot of Bitcoin because I got into it in 2013 when, but I basically missed the 2017 and 20, I completely miss it. And when I look at my Coinbase transactions, I just, want to cry. So I just, I lost so much money because I sold too early.
Yeah.
And, that's why now I'm just, I just want to build stuff and make money that way versus holding on to a lot of coins and just, appreciating from a crazy bull run. Maybe we'll have that this year. I don't know. But so I don't know. It's just, so I guess I've had a win and a fail,
Okay. Similar with a lot of guests we've had here. Okay, so with your team, you talked about making sure that we have support. Do you have a co-founder? And how has your team grown over the years?
Yeah, I have a great team. Actually, David Case is our chief architect, and he's just brilliant. I mean, just so many great, amazing things that come out of him. And our game developer side, Abel Dantas, he is a great game designer. He came up with a lot of the game mechanics and just really how is this all going to work together. And he's, currently manages the pipeline for our game. So, having a great team is definitely important because of all the things that I mentioned earlier with just being able to make sense of this industry, Yeah.
Okay. And then this is our last question from the audience. Apart from the gaming industry, what other industries or business areas do you think really fit blockchain technology and will be advantageous?
Good question. I think probably supply management and logistics are going to be probably a low-hanging fruit That makes sense on the blockchain. I also think like copyright law and any kind of registering of records to prove ownership or to prove a point in time are going to be. I mean, we have to also wait on the governments and law to catch up with that and accept that. But I think those are going to be probably the things that are going to come along. But I also think it depends on the blockchain space too, is what becomes the most stable. And to be kind of adopted. I also, one of the things I kind of want to see in the market is with media, is that when things are said out on the media, that you can't take it away, or we have to have some sort of record of what was said to kind of create this timeline of humanity in a way. I know there's some projects that scan some like all the news media and kind of record that, but I think that could be really interesting with blockchain-based storage, which is why we're heavily looking at Bitcoin SV with that. And there's other things like with IPFS and Filecoin and all these kind of cool projects. But again, we're kind of in the phase where everybody's building right now, and things are slowly starting to come out. And, so, I mean, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg for what's possible with blockchain.
Yeah. And this is me being curious. Your user base, do you find that most of them are from the US, or are other parts of the world quite on point?
Primarily from the US, but we do have, the UK, India, Germany. I mean, they're really all over the place. I do think that the US, depending on the type of game you have, for like the Asian market, they kind of have a different style of games. Our game is a little bit maybe more North America based. I don't know. It's kind of yet to be known with the blockchain space, but I would say it's primarily US right now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Adam. It's been a very interesting session, and we can't wait to hear the feedback from the community. Before we go, we'd like to thank our sponsors once again, Crypterium, and everybody who has tuned in. So if you've joined in via Facebook or YouTube, don't forget to sign into the community so that you can get everything about this interview and more. We're going to have more coming up soon. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.